back to the channel of ProEnzo Vidz, and this is part 2 of the NRL 2022 bowl prediction series. So yeah, for what I saw yesterday in the comments on part 1, I saw there a lot of positive feedback. Everyone seems to really enjoy part 1 of my NRL 2022 bowl predictions. Made some big ones, ones that people didn't expect me to make, but that's why they're bold. That's why they're bold predictions, because they're ones that I believe that could happen. So yeah, it will be interesting to see if any of them do happen across the season in general. So yeah, that's why I like making these sort of videos, because it's good to look back on. So yeah, this is part 2. So I reckon it's time to get into my first NRL 2022 bold prediction for part 2. So that is Melbourne Storm recruit Xavier Coates. So obviously he made the switch from Broncos to the Storm in the off-season. I believe he is the Adokar replacement on that left wing. So I believe Xavier Coates will score more than 20 tries in season 2022. Yep, that's a bold prediction I'm making right there. Xavier Coates to score 20 plus tries in his first season at the Melbourne Storm in this year in 2022. Yeah, obviously he's going to a very good system where Craig Bellamy's the coach, and obviously Storm are always doing really well in terms of signing a player that wasn't as great as he was at another club, but then goes to Melbourne and changes his career around. So that's why I think Xavier Coates is in for a big season, because he's at Melbourne, got some good players around him, and the coach, especially Bellamy. So I think he'll really thrive in their systems, and that's why I reckon, he'll have a big season and score 20 plus tries. I know that's a big call, because I know that Xavier Coates didn't have the best season last year, and it will take a big turnaround for him to have a huge season this year. But like I said, he's got Bellamy with him. He's got a good Storm team around him, good system. So anything's possible. And I think, he'll definitely have a big season. And I think he's partnering up with Justin Olam. So that's another PNG player as well. So I guess that could definitely be a good combination there, Olam and Coates. So yeah, I reckon Olam could definitely set up Coates for many tries in the 2022 season. So that is my first bold prediction for part 2. My second bold prediction is Luke Brooks, the West Tigers halfback. Obviously, there was speculation late last year that Luke Brooks could be off the Newcastle Knights. Obviously, because Knights lost Mitchell Pearce and they're looking for a halfback replacement. And obviously, they pinned Luke Brooks as the guy to be the new halfback and obviously come in for Pearce. And yeah, so obviously it looked like the Tigers were reluctant to be releasing him, so they're going to be keeping him now for another season. And so in saying that, I believe across the season, so maybe like around midway through the season, like June or July, around that sort of time, where I think you're allowed to leave a club mid-season, or I'm not sure the rules have changed about that, but anyway, I reckon mid-season, Luke Brooks will head to the Newcastle Knights. We see this every year, every year it always happens. Happened last year with Jake Clifford from the Cowboys. He left mid-season to go to the Knights. So I reckon, yeah, another one's going to happen. That's Luke Brooks leaving the West Tigers mid-season to get an early release to join the Newcastle Knights. Because I believe the Knights still have some interest in signing, Luke Brooks. So I guess they'll get their man very soon, who is Brooks. So yeah, I reckon that's a good chance of happening. I know it's pretty bold, and that is bold, because obviously it's not easy to predict what players will leave what club during the season. But I guess just because of the speculation that we've heard with Luke Brooks potentially leaving with the Tigers for a while now, and obviously the Knights were very interested in signing him on a good contract. That's why, yeah, I believe Brooks to the Knights could be very bound to happen. So yeah, that's my second bold prediction right there. Now, the third one, let me just give you a warning. The third one's a big one, because I don't think many people would consider him one of the best signings of the year. I mean, I think he's very underrated as a player, and it's unfortunate he didn't get to play any games in 2021. But I feel like this player is going to really have a big season. Like, I really think, after unfortunately doing his ACL at the start of 2021 and missed every game for the Dragons, I feel like he's got a lot to prove in 2022 for his new club, the Sharks. And so, Obviously the Sharks have signed Nico Hines-Delphinuk, 2 big signings for the club, but I reckon there's one that's going to stand out the most. And I reckon Cameron McInnes is going to be the signing of the year. Bingo. That's the biggest signing of the year, in my opinion. So I'm saying Cameron McInnes will be the NRL 2022 signing of the year. That's a very big call. I know that's very bold, because I don't think many people would even consider him as a signing of the year. Or wouldn't even consider him as a top 5 signing for the year, Obviously, there's Reynolds, there is Hines, like I mentioned, Burden, Addo Carr, there's all these other good signings that clubs have made. But to me, Cameron McInnes will win signing of the year, in my opinion. I think he's really going to have a big season. I mean, people are going to start saying, oh, but look, Cameron McInnes, it's his first season back since 2020, he hasn't even played a footy in nearly 2 years. So why would you even have him as, signing of the year for 2022? Okay, well, let me explain that, because first of all, who expected Isaiah Papali'i to get the signing of the year last year? Because he was arguably, I think, for my opinion, definitely the signing of the year for 2021. And I think overall, McInnes is a great player. He's proven that he's a fantastic defender, very smart player as well. I know he's playing lock, so obviously, he's more known as a hooker compared to lock. But I remember when he was at the Dragons, they'll try and Ben Hunt at hooker and Cameron McInnes at lock. And when they did that change, Dragons were winning actually quite a bit of games in 2020. So I reckon McInnes could actually make a really good transition to lock, and he's played there before many times. So I reckon, it's going to be a really successful move. And another reason why I believe he will be the signing of the year is because obviously with how the game is now, how they're always sped up and shit like that. I think McInnes, he's somewhat of a good running game for, a forward. So I think, him playing lock might cause some damage in the middle. So that's why I believe, he will be a very big part of the reason why Sharks may succeed in 2022 is because of he's the way he plays in the ruck, and just, I think, he's a quality player. So he's not getting talked enough about McInnes as a signing. So that is my third bold prediction right there. So if you think bold prediction number 3 was bold, well, this is going to get even bolder. So, South Sydney Rabbitohs winger, Josh Mansour. Obviously, Mansour is kind of in the pecking order at South Sydney, because Souths have already got plenty of good young backs, and obviously backs that probably will get more opportunity than Mansour in 2022, in my opinion. They've got Jackson Paulo, Tane Milne. They've got many other backs, young backs, that I think the Rabbitohs will prefer to use more over Mansour. And obviously Mansour's getting older now. He's like 31 years old, I'm pretty sure. So he's not going to get any younger, unfortunately. So that's why I'm making the bigger prediction in terms of retirement. Now, it's sad because I don't want to make any predictions for players to retire, because, it's a bit unfortunate if I did that. But for me, I can give an explanation of why I think that. Because, Mansour, obviously, yeah, he's getting older, and I guess he is getting older. Obviously, not many clubs will probably want him if the Rabbitohs chose to let him go, because I think other clubs already have plenty of good backs already, and already set with who they have on the wing and centres and all that. So, I mean, unless Mansour went to Super League, but I don't really think so. I think Mansour's going to retire during the year. I reckon he might retire mid-season. That's another bold prediction there. I reckon Josh Mansour's going to retire mid-season in the NRL. I know that's a bit sad to make a prediction about, and I shouldn't really be making a prediction of what player will retire, but I just feel like, Souths have got plenty of other better options, much younger players as well, who we've seen have had plenty of potential, and I guess, they're players that might get more goes and more chances than what Mansour may get. So that is why I guess, Mansour may have to agree that his chances for playing Souths again may be very slim. So that's why he might make a decision across the year to retire. That's a bold prediction there, but it's a bit of a sad one. So yeah, but I can't really see him getting much chances at Souths, in my opinion. On to the 5th and final one. So last one's a bit of a controversial one, but, I guess, everyone's got some reasons why they're saying this, like myself. And I have a strong reasoning behind why I reckon this club's going to struggle and be the most backwards club of 2022. So I'm saying for my fifth and final bold prediction for this year that the Parramatta Eels are the club that's going to go backwards the most. Yeah, I know Parramatta have lost heaps of players, and that's obviously going to be a reason why they go backwards because now I will say, before everyone starts saying, oh, but then they're not even leaving until like 2023. Yeah, I get that. But like, you got to think, those players are committed elsewhere. That's about 6 or 7 players or something like that that's committed elsewhere for 2023 and onwards. So they're basically playing 2022, feeling, not really committed to the Eels. I mean, they're obviously going to stay there for another season, but like, it's going to cause a bit of distraction in the group, I reckon. Like, it's going to cause some sort of a bit of uncertainty, I suppose, as well, and a bit of questioning, because obviously Reed Marnie signed with the rivals, the Bulldogs. So, obviously, I guess Parramatta players will be pissed at Marnie because he left Eels to join one of the club's biggest rivals, which is the Bulldogs. So obviously, that's going to cause a bit of conflict, I suppose, and a bit of questioning by some of the players in particular, like Gutherson, who's the captain. I've already heard, or I don't know if it's true, but apparently he's already said something about Marnie going to Parramatta and Marnie going to the Bulldogs, and already spoken the speculation that became true. And I don't know. I think Parramatta on the decline. I think we saw late last year that there's some things going wrong with the club, and there's just obviously something that's not right. So maybe they're going to go through a building phase very soon. Plus, I don't even know if the players can trust Brad Arthur anymore because look, I don't mind Brad Arthur as a coach. I think Brad Arthur has done very well to fix the Eels from 2014 and onwards. But look, I think his time's going to be nearly up, I reckon. I think the players are starting to get sick of playing under him and receiving the same results every single season. And that's going out the second week. So I reckon it's time for him to maybe move on, and Parramatta may go for someone else as their new coach. That's in my opinion only, but yeah, I reckon Parramatta are the team that's going to go backwards the most in 2022. But everyone, thanks for watching the NRL 2022 Bold Predictions Part 2. If you enjoyed it, make sure you do like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. And yeah, Part 3 will be out next week. So have a good weekend, everyone, and thanks for watching.